Hello boys and girls in Esther, welcome back to another video with me, Mr. Ricardo, and in this video we're going to be talking about what it takes to be a fireman. So what we're mainly going to talk about in this video is what a fireman really does and what a career as a fireman looks like. So, what do firefighters do? Well, it should go without saying that they do exactly what it says in their name, they fight fires. But they're also in charge of a lot more. For example, they're some of the first people that show up at the scene of an emergency. And because they are the first responders, they have to be ready for anything that they might encounter, so they do some extensive training to be ready for whatever happens in the real world. So, let's look into what it takes to be a fireman.
To become a firefighter, you must pass certain physical tests that are pretty much what an everyday fighter would encounter. And these tests are held at a fire academy where recruits are trained to be everyday firemen.
Every fire department in the nation is very different. They all have very different requirements. For example, some may even require you to go to school to study about fire science. But the very basic of all requirements would be passing the fire academy. Now, there are a couple other things that you guys must do before you're on your way to become a fireman. One of those things is passing a written exam that will test you on all your knowledge. Another one is an evaluation. Other firemen will evaluate to see if you got what it takes to be a fireman. And the last thing that you must do is a job interview. Now, the last thing on that list is that job interview, and once you ace that interview, you're pretty much on your way to becoming a fireman. And like I mentioned earlier, guys, your primary job as a fireman would be to be the very first to respond to any kind of emergency. It could be a fire or it could be a medical emergency. And one of the most important traits a fireman can have is that they care about their community and they're always willing to be the first to show up when a member of their community is having an emergency.
The men and women who become firefighters in your community are some of the bravest members of our community. It's important to understand that these men and women risk their lives to preserve their communities and help out the members in their communities. And that being said, becoming a fireman can be a very rewarding career path that can benefit you in the future.
So, let's say you finally decided that you want to become a firefighter. Let's talk about how your career could look like and some challenges that you could possibly face down the line. So, starting off your career as a rookie fireman, you're looking at a very decent beginning salary of at least $30,000 a year. And it can only go up the more time you devote to your career path. Becoming a fireman can be a very good choice if you're looking to make a career out of it, which means that you invest more than just a couple years to it. It could be up to 20, 30 years as a fireman. The more you invest in your career as a fireman, the more you will be rewarded for it. And once you're no longer a rookie and more of a veteran, it will open up the road to much different things that you would tackle as a fireman. You may or may not know, but California and most of the West Coast is prone to a lot of heavy wildfires. We very recently in 2020 had a heavy wildfire season.
2020 was a historic year in terms of wildfires in the West Coast. A lot of manpower was needed in order to control these historic wildfires. And it was the job of the veteran firefighters to coordinate with other fire departments in order to keep these wildfires under control.
And it was because of the work of a lot of brave firefighters that we were able to contain these historic and massive wildfires that were all over the West Coast, up from Washington down to California. And it was because of their bravery that they were able to save a lot of people's homes, a lot of people's lives, and a lot of wildlife. So, to summarize, I think what you can take away about becoming a fireman is that it means becoming a pillar of your community. It means that you're going to be there when somebody's having an emergency, or you're going to be there for everybody in the state, for example, when we have historic wildfires. And it also means that you're going to be preparing for when a member or members of your community need help. And becoming a fireman is a career path that many people are devoted to. So, if you've ever wanted to help out your community, then becoming a fireman might be just for you. Anyways guys, that wraps up this video. I hope you guys learned a lot in this video, and I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.